Hello, friends. Welcome to Much Review About Nothing. Wonder Park, more like Blunder Park. On this podcast, we review a movie we haven't seen through cultural osmosis and what we can find on the internet. I'm your host, Billy Greer.
And we're your co-hosts, Jake Greer and
Luke Greer.
Is that just your go-to intro now? You snap your fingers?
So Billy, that was a wonderful joke. How'd you park your mind on that one?
Really? Was that the joke you wanted to go with?
Yes.
I did think about some stupid car joke too, but... So, yes, we are going to not be watching Wonder Park today.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if maybe half the people listening to this even know what we're talking about.
I don't even know what you guys are talking
I
about.
feel like they do because it was in trailers and stuff like that in theaters. And it came out fairly recently, so I feel like people know of it, whether they saw it or not.
Maybe, but it came and went so fast that I only kind of tracked it because I started hearing weird behind-the-scenes things about it. And the first trailer kind of caught my attention, and I'll talk more about that, but I know I had a very idiosyncratic interest in it.
But yeah, it is one of those movies like the Nutcracker and the Four Winds
Yeah.
or Realms,
Four Winds.
where it comes out and is immediately gone, and then you think back, oh, I wonder how long ago it came out. That must have been a year ago. But no, it's the current year, 2019. So
It was only 3 or 4 months, and I could not remember it came out this year. But,
That's right, there was a movie about the Nutcracker.
So I feel like we've jumped into dynamic discussions over introspection and inspection.
Well, no, this is the preamble before the trailer.
Yeah.
We skipped introspection, inspection.
Basically, we have a big announcement.
Oh yes, I forgot about this.
We have a new table.
Yes.
So if you remember, this is our third table, I think it is.
Yeah, it
so we haven't increased our production quality in microphones or our talent in this, but we have gone through many tables.
Yes.
So this is a nice...
It's a nice wooden table.
Yes. So
very nice size, very very roomy. Because we went from my rickety desk, which is only meant for one person, to this round rickety plastic table, to this nice wooden firm table.
yeah, and for a little ASMR, you can hear it.
Yeah, there we go. It's a quality podcast.
That's pretty much it for introspection inspection. I don't think we've really done anything
That's
on
an
the social
idea.
media.
We did a next episode, but ASMR, hey, it's much review about nothing.
We don't have the special microphones that you do for the directional sound.
Yeah, the oral microphone. I mean,
Yeah.
Maybe we can download an app for that.
Man, we could, see, you're joking, but ASMR is so popular that would probably get us more listens, honestly. And also, I want to bring up, I don't know if they're old viewers or old followers, but on Podbean, I don't know if we have a new one or one that joined recently, and we just haven't acknowledged them yet. But
So the 3 followers we have, I don't remember if we even talked about this or on Podbean itself. Adam, Something More to Podcast, and Ouija Lord 717. I think we did Ouija Lord,
yeah,
but Something More to Podcast, which is another podcast. I guess you could check them out. I don't know anything about them, but they followed us. And Adam, just Adam.
yeah. So really grateful to them. Thank you for joining us. I find it funny that every podcast that's interacted with us is similar to our name, where it says something in it.
Yes.
Because the other one was a podcast about something. So
Hey, birds of a feather flock together,
Yes, Flurbies of a Blagger flock
I
together.
said it right.
Okay, well, sorry for boring you with that intro inspection that probably went on too long, but if that's all, I guess we should get into the trailer.
Yeah,
Wonder
I
Park.
just have so much to edit. Here, let me talk for 20 minutes.
Hey, do not call me out like that. Well, I guess it's what I deserve for making fun of your birds of a feather thing. All right, let's watch the trailer.
Look at the find out what this movie's about. Oh my!
We've seen the trailer.
Wait
in
a second!
theaters.
I've seen this trailer.
Yes, we've seen it in theaters.
It's time to open the park.
Okay, well that's a perfect shot. We'll leave it on the bear looking like a corpse. Okay, so we finished the trailer for Wonder Park, and we had to.
Okay, well, what the chuck was that?
Yeah. Yes, we discovered a new catchphrase from the trailer. One of the beavers just yells, "What the chuck?" But we'll get into the movie, but we were distracted by the trailer because there's a scene, and I don't know if any of you have any context of this movie, but basically, this girl is dreamed up a park, which becomes real. She finds it in the woods, and all the mascots she's invented are alive, and there's a giant blue bear. And for some reason, I guess he's narcoleptic, so in the middle of the trailer, he just passes out. But it's cut so suddenly, and you have no... Like, if you didn't know he was narcoleptic, it looked like he was stricken with some illness and just falls dead.
If you want to see it, it's the Wonder Park official trailer. About 1:39, I'd say, is when it starts.
It's the weirdest cut ever.
Yeah.
Oh no! What happened to this poor
He
bear?
just got taken down hard. Maybe someone haymakered him.
Got sniped.
So, knowing what I know now about this movie, mostly from reviews, this trailer is actually pretty misleading about
It
the
is. I didn't
content
realize.
of what the movie's about. Because, like, this seems like a journey of self-discovery to a large extent.
You gotta build the park.
And there's happy music, and there's fun mascots. But if you know anything about Wonder Park, it's kind of a depressing movie, I guess. Or a little bit, has more dark and depressing elements.
A little bit. I wouldn't say it's super depressing because it's got a happy ending.
I wouldn't,
Right, it's a
I wouldn't
kid's show.
say that it's Inside Out levels of soul crushing.
Yeah, but it falls into that. It's its own subgenre. And a lot about what I know about the film comes from a video by Folding Ideas on YouTube, so I gotta give credit to him. But it falls into kind of subgenre of my parent is dying, so magic.
Yeah.
You know, there's a whole thing where like a kid cannot accept the illness or death of a parent, so they kind of get lost in the fantasy world they created, so to speak. I guess you could lump Neverending Story into that, because it's Bastian dealing with the death of his mother.
Yeah.
And then there's, Monster Calls, which the kid's dealing with his mother's terminal cancer, so he imagines all these things. And
Pan's Labyrinth.
That's a good one. Well, that's kind of, that's more a child dealing with the existential terror of being in the middle of the Spanish... Is this the Spanish Civil War? Did we stumble the Spanish Civil
Wait,
War?
Spanish Civil War is back?
Yeah.
Well, in Pan's Labyrinth, it's one of those Spanish wars, but I can't remember.
No, it's a Spanish Civil War.
It is? Okay.
So, I think we do have to get our first con that the trailer is misleading. I mean,
Yes.
That's your first look into what this movie's about, and they don't even hint at any of, like, some of the
I'm
more darker.
I'm
And, like,
looking at your book over there, Billy. That's a fat cons column. Don't really have much faith in this movie.
Well, we always have more cons, it seems. I did it by accident, but...
and the happy music, go big or go home, I think is the song that plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, go big or go home, it's so happy,
And I got kind of sidetracked, but basically her mother gets sick, and her mother is kind of instrumental in the creation of the park because originally she tries to make a roller coaster. The little girl is fascinated with, I guess, amusement parks. So she tries to make one in her backyard, almost kills herself and everyone in the neighborhood. So she and her mom start making a smaller one indoors. And the way it works is the girl comes up with something for the park. She tells her mother, and then her mother has to whisper like the new command into the ear of the monkey mascot, because I think it's a stuffed animal in reality. And she whispers into the monkey's ear, and then the monkey creates the change, creates the new...
Wait, is the monkey actually magical or no?
Well, see, this is where I'm confused. I don't know. There's reality where the monkey's just a monkey. It's just a stuffed monkey, and the mom whispers in its ear. But within the reality, the fantasy reality...
This is not reality. This is not reality.
So there's reality and there's the
This
fantasy.
is reality.
Where the monkey is a living creature with magical abilities, kind of like a Mickey Mouse of the park, and he is the one who brings about the new rides and stuff like that. So there's this weird bureaucracy where the girl has to tell the mom to tell the monkey. I feel like they really need to shorten that. So kind of
Is the mom necessary? Maybe that's why she got sick. I'll cut out the middleman.
Yes.
So they have some organizational problems.
yes, organizational problems.
But I got a side with the company. I mean, you're trying to get kids and parents to watch this film. You're not going to want to show the depressing stuff in the trailer. You want to show all the happy, fun stuff and the weirdly cut bear scene.
I guess,
Yes.
but at least allude to it a tiny bit, you know.
Yeah,
But
just
then-
have a scene of just hacking up blood. It just jumps.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think it's ever, in all the reviews I read and stuff, it's never described what her illness is. She just gets sick and then
has-
vanishes until the end of the movie.
Right, it's something very general. I think they wanted
Yeah.
to keep it general.
And I wanted to bring up like a phrase I coined a long time ago that I used a lot, where she caught a bad case of the plot. And I think it's very applicable here. And I use that whenever someone gets sick in a movie or TV show, and there's no discernible reason, but they need a very specific kind of sickness but it doesn't really line up with any real world sickness.
Yeah.
Because if she's so badly off, she has to leave for an extended period of time. I mean, this is like life-threatening stuff, but like we don't want to get too dark because it's still for kids. So we don't.
Well,
Just say she has pneumonia.
I guess so, but then pneumonia is not as scary. If you get pneumonia, it's bad, obviously, but it's not like cancer.
yeah.
But cancer is too permanent.
She has something in between cancer and pneumonia,
Yeah.
I guess, you know?
Pomancer.
I
That sounds like a magical wizard.
Poo Mancer.
Wait,
How
a
about
Pooh
he?
Mancer?
How about he has?
Oh no, new method.
How about she's caught into the bad case of like leprosy or something?
Oh, I
You
know.
don't see that a lot nowadays.
Black plague.
The black
Because
There
we
we
can
go.
treat it now, but
Yeah.
it is still pretty scary.
Yeah, the
lupus,
lupus.
shingles.
I guess
Whooping
those
cough?
would work.
well, shingles isn't... Is it really life-threatening?
I don't think
It's
so.
really
I just think it's very
painful.
painful.
Smallpox.
But see, that's where another kind of disconnect or problem is with the plot is it seems like there's kind of two different threads where the girl's dealing with kind of the death of childhood or the death of imagination, and she's having to regain her spark of creativity, but at the same time, like, deal with, it feels like she has two different problems, and the movie's not sure which one she needs to
Yeah.
combat, like dealing with this family tragedy or dealing with, the loss of creativity or just growing up and, losing your childhood.
This trailer tries to
Child
make
self.
it seem like that first point of just
Yeah.
growing up.
But that's not completely true.
But then you come in, you get sucker punched by
Yeah.
magical sickness mom getting dragged
Yeah.
off to the ether until the end.
Yeah, but I mean, full disclosure, she's fine. She comes back. Everything's good.
Oh, come on.
I almost wonder if it would be stronger if she just died.
Well,
But-
this is brought up later in the random
Kill the
reviews,
moms.
and we can get to that. But yeah, do we agree that the mom should die?
I want to be on the side of that argument.
Everyone phone in. Whoever phones in more yeses, she died. If no, then no. That worked out for DC. Maybe it'll work out for us.
But I guess maybe no. Maybe I'm actually gonna go against that because I feel this movie was not trying to be super heavy. I feel like you could still have the same emotional resonance if she's just real sick.
Yeah,
You don't have to kill her.
yeah.
Obviously, if you want it to be more
I
of a
have-
punch
I have
emotionally.
mixed feelings about killing off the parent. You know.
So pro con, they didn't kill the mom. I guess.
I mean, should we give it to the movie that they didn't kill the mom? It's kind of it's a really Pixar move, and it seems like a real easy move to kind of get that Pixar
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I
So
guess that's
should we
true.
give at least?
Let's throw him a pro.
Let's
Well,
give
we
him a
really
pro.
went around on this one.
Yeah,
we thought about some
Okay,
more.
so
yeah.
the mom is not dead.
I mean, if this was a Disney movie, they'd
The
be,
mom lived.
they'd be salivating at like the death of the mom. It's like,
Yeah.
can we kill the father too?
Please.
More parent death.
See, if you need any proof that Disney's evil, look at the long list of slaughtered parents. We just did a feature review on Frozen.
Yeah.
Parents just killed off in a silent scene.
Yeah.
Don't cry, child. Mickey Mouse is now your parent.
Yeah.
It's like the Good Dino. I've talked about this with you
Yeah.
guys. That how I don't agree with killing the father off.
I don't agree with that morally.
Yes, I
and
don't
politically.
agree with that
Yeah.
for story reasons, really.
Yes,
know?
and you mean the good dinosaur.
The
Just
good dinosaur.
He
clarifying.
should have just gotten sick and vanished till the end of the movie.
Yes, that's clearly the better creative choice.
Yeah.
Is what we're saying. Don't
Obviously.
explain the sickness or anything. Just vanish them.
Your father has a bad case of being smacked with debris.
Yeah. Yes. He must go to the dinosaur hospital. So this is a pro-parent vanishing podcast. We don't want parents dead. We just want them out of the film long enough for an emotional impact, albeit a smaller one, to take place.
And I feel like you can get your emotional impact without endangering the lives of parents. You know?
Yes, but it's so easy.
Think about Inside Out. I think this is like Wonder Park and Inside Out. I think are going to be compared, and they are compared really heavily. In that.
Yeah, because
Inside Out is dealing with the emotional trauma of moving mostly.
Yes, and just growing
and
up.
growing up,
'Cause
growing
it
up while
sucks.
moving.
Yeah.
So.
And as I said before, Inside Out, the most depressing movie ever made for kids, I think. Maybe only second to like Land Before Time.
Yeah, like
I still get flashbacks to Littlefoot Small.
Yeah, that whole movie is traumatizing.
yeah, thinking back on Inside Out, there's a lot.
But you know, that's kind of a thing.
Littlefoot's mom dies.
I guess Pixar is keeping that torch burning, but when I was a kid, I feel like, or maybe even before I was a kid, just kind of those older movies I watched, they were more just emotionally devastating. A lot of times, just either scary or just sad, but they stuck with you.
Well, you see, that we watched a lot of Don Bluth movies when we were growing up, and his core philosophy is that kids can take anything you throw at them, as long as there's a happy ending at the film. So that explains all this. Just the crushing depression, but always the happy endings, and we always remember them, you know?
I remember them, but at the same time, I barely wanted to watch those movies because it was such an emotional roller
Well, it's
coaster.
not even necessarily Don Bluth. Back to Billy's point, like The Lion King is a prime example of Mufasa's death.
At least with that one, is you get past that one part, then the rest of the movie you're fine.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know,
good.
So let's move. I got a few articles here.
Yeah,
The first one,
we are in dynamic discussion.
Yes, we are. We started that at the very beginning of the podcast, kind of,
Yes.
a little bit. Although that was more of our preamble.
Yeah.
Okay, what are the titles? Are they puns?
No, this one...
I've made all the puns that we need, so...
I'm disappointed in these
Well,
articles.
this one might... Okay, yeah, it is kind of a pun in another one. But this one, it's not, because it's not really a review. It's from the New York Times, and it's... That time I built my own Wonder Park. And I only bring this one up because the author just uses the movie as an excuse to go back through his or her childhood. Mikado, I guess, is that a man's name?
It's a vegetable.
Not avocado. Okay, it's a man. The author uses it as an excuse to go back through his childhood and talk about just the roller coasters he wanted to make or that he drew and created. And it just... I mean, I guess I haven't read the article fully, so I guess there's probably a point in there somewhere. I was just like, what does this have to do with...
I saw this in a review. I wonder if this has to do with like the death of imagination because cell phones have taken over.
Oh, I guess, but as I was perusing it, he was just like, oh, this movie's about building roller coasters. Let me tell you about the time I built roller coasters of my own.
Well, Billy, when you need to write an article and you have a deadline and you don't really want to review a movie, but you want it to be movie related, then you just
staple.
Just
Staple
it's
two
like
ideas
beautiful.
together.
I bet this guy, like, his like article about Toy Story is that it's about kids' old toys. But wait, let me tell you about all the old toys I played with as a kid.
Yeah, I don't want to write reviews, but I want to get close to reviews. I want to have an excuse to watch a movie, but I don't want to review it.
In a way, he's like us.
Well, he's the antithesis of us, that
Yeah.
we want to review movies, but we don't actually want to watch them.
Yes, he just wants to relate to movies.
Yes.
In a very, roundabout way. Right.
Guys, doing this podcast reminds me of when I was a kid. I would just stand out in a field and scream into the aether, I can relate a lot to this podcast.
But, yeah, it wasn't much there. I just thought that was a funny, strange, because normally I don't find anything but reviews. So I was like, oh, what is this? This is interesting.
What is this?
Yeah, what is this? So I guess maybe a pro, the movie appeals to you, especially if you created your own roller coasters in the past?
Yeah, roller coaster enthusiasts will be pleased.
I don't know, all the roller coasters I built became death traps and killed people.
What are you playing, Roller Coaster Tycoon?
Yes.
And I mean, that is one aspect. The trailer didn't really wow me, but that is one aspect I liked. Is just the design of the park. It harkens to kind of the fascinating aspect of a run-down amusement park. I don't know if you've seen like Defunct Land on YouTube, which has videos of run-down amusement parks, and there's always something really like kind of darkly magical about a rundown amusement park, and I feel like this kind of taps into that a little bit. And
especially when you have the cloud of a sick mother hovering.
yes,
over
that
it.
makes it even better.
Yeah.
I kind of do like those movies. I like the one where the Mickey Mouse guy ripped his head off and said, "We want to watch me pull my head off." I mean,
What on earth?
it's a lame creepypasta that's messing around.
Oh, okay.
It's also about a abandoned theme park.
Okay. And I kind of wish this movie was just about a girl using magical abilities to create a roller coaster and try to run it properly. But of course, we gotta have the dying parent subplot. We can't just have. See, I want kind of an isekai where the kid goes into a fantasy world, has magical abilities, but uses it to create a business, or in this case, an amusement park, and uses their magical abilities to create mascots and to create rides. I feel like there's a thread there. Why does it have to be about like childhood or growing up or dealing with grief or whatever? Why can't we just have a cool movie about running a business? What's wrong with that? The trials and tribulation.
Only if the business are the bad guys.
No, this time it's the business owner is the good guy.
Well, it's
No.
a bit like Ghostbusters.
Yes,
really.
like Ghostbusters.
Yeah, like Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that's what the first one was about. It was really about running a business.
Yes.
Turns out.
And I guess that's why the remake had trouble, because it kind of overlooked that fact. It was too focused on the ghosts when the ghosts are actually secondary.
Yes.
But not to get on the Ghostbusters. Let's go through these other articles real quick.
No, let's linger. I'll give you more to edit.
That's all we do in this podcast, and it's usually my fault, even though I have to edit it. So this one from the AV Club, it says, at the Animated Wonder Park, the view is lovely, but the attractions don't fit together. So a little bit of a pun there, and
It's pretty good.
Oh, yes, it hurts. Good.
I mean, this just goes into, it's just a review. It's not that great. It's kind of endearing, blah, blah, blah. But basically, a funny line in here was, no one asks why June, the main character, and her mom have so fully imagined a park's merchandising program, but give them credit for both realism and attention to detail. So, in their fantasy amusement park, they have created the entire merchandising line, which...
It's not really hard. You just take the mascots and make them the stuffed animals.
I guess
put
so.
their faces on shirts.
But I appreciate the fact they're so, fascinated by that tiny detail. Normally you would just focus on the roller coasters or whatever, but they've made it's like they're kind of taking aspects from my idea. They're trying to sell items to imaginary characters. This is a newfound kind of like capitalism. It's trying to sell things that don't exist to people that don't exist.
Well, we've kind of run into that before with the Mist people and with the Little Hands and things like that. So is this movie trying to appeal to imaginary people, and thus imaginary people will spend imaginary money to watch the movie?
Business
The
plan.
imaginary profits.
Because that's what I can't figure out is does this real version of the park actually exist, or is it all in her head? Because she gets sent to math camp after her mother is sick, and then she finds a way to get away because she's worried about her dad, and she stumbles onto the park. And again, I have not watched the film. I've just read reviews and listened to reviews on YouTube.
Maybe she's just in a coma.
not that old theory that every cartoon is someone in a
Her
coma.
mom is sick, dreaming of her daughter being in a coma who's in a theme park.
Well, there's extra layers on that one, at least. Lost my train of thought. Oh, but yeah, I don't know if that's supposed to be real or if it's all in her head. So, if it's all fake, then I guess this movie is intended to appeal to imaginary people.
I guess so, but I mean, they can't really be real, can they?
No,
Question mark? I mean...
I would assume not, but...
If they are real, then we're delving a little bit back into the philosophical elements that we usually get to on this podcast, and that they kind of broach it a little bit. The fact that she created them, and he says, "What the Chuck?" I think is that the line.
What the Chuck?
Wait, hang on. All this talk of imaginary people. So, foster home for imaginary friends. Were they imaginary or were they real?
That's the thing. They were imagined. They were imaginary in the sense that they were imagined by someone, but they were real because they existed within our reality.
Maybe Luke's found a thread. This is set in the Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends world.
Well, that would make sense why this world has just, come out of nowhere, birthed from nothingness, from her mind. It sprung from her mind like a Athena.
Her mind's eye.
Yes, she's like Zeus in the park, and its inhabitants are Athena, emerging from her intelligence and creativity.
Oh, wait a second. Maybe it was not her, but her mom, because she helped come up with it. Maybe that's why she's sick. She has a splitting headache, and this entire theme park shut out of her mind. Now she's like sick, but really she's just like so stunned by it all.
Yeah, she's mentally discombobulated. I mean, that would make sense. I've totally forgotten what got us here. I guess the merchandising to imaginary people.
Yes.
So
should we try to appeal to the imaginary crowd?
I think that's all we appeal to, honestly, at this point.
It's a really big market. It's almost infinite.
Yeah, it's almost. So let's back up here, try to grab the reins, because I totally lost control.
We need to stop derailing this roller coaster, I would say.
I'm not going to acknowledge that. Okay, so pro, is it pro or con? It's trying to find a way. What's the phrasing I'm looking for here? The movie is proposing the concept of marketing to people who don't exist. Is that a pro or con?
I think it's a pro con simply for the fact that yes, you're trying to get new markets and all that, but con is that their money is worthless.
Yes.
Well, it's not necessarily worth it. You can spend it on imaginary goods.
But then there's also that conundrum, because in the world of foster home for imaginary friends, they might be imaginary, but they are real. They're flesh and blood. They were just born from imagination.
Right.
Which imaginary then becomes just an adjective. Well, it's already an adjective, but it's not describing the same thing that imaginary usually describes.
Right. Well, I mean,
it's describing the nature of their birth, not the nature of their existence.
Yes.
I guess.
In a way, they're kind of like ugly dolls.
I guess so.
A little bit. We've delved back into that. Personally, I don't know. I'm sure some of our viewers, if they exist and they're not just imaginary people. I've had imaginary friends. I had an imaginary friend.
Yeah,
He was a ghost, which was...
Yeah, he was a ghost named Donald.
Didn't he die because the tree fell on because he was driving to the park? That's pretty messed up.
That's how he became a ghost.
He's going to go play in the park, and then a tree fell on him. So, it just happens.
It's the greatest tragedy that plagues America, trees falling on cars while they're in motion. So I was going to propose another con. We can't figure out... And this may be explained in the movie, but we can't figure out if the real version of the park is in fact real.
Right. What is real?
Yes.
It's kind of an Inception vibe that you don't know what reality is. And I did a reference, I can't remember what that movie is called, but it ends with him in the movie theater and he's watching himself and he says, "This is not reality. This is not reality."
Mouth of Madness?
Yeah, Mouth of Madness.
Don't know if park is real, in which we maybe penalize the movie for something it actually explains, but we don't know. We can't tell from the trailer.
Maybe the random review people.
It's a minor con. We've had those before.
Yeah. Okay, so final article here. I guess this came out when the trailer first came out. Yeah, the teaser trailer, and the person who wrote it, they were confused by it, and they kind of go through what's in the trailer. Girls making a theme park with magic, and then they say, "Our only real clue is that it comes from the creators of the TV show Zoo, in which animals from around the world go crazy and start killing people. So, new best guess? This is actually not a children's movie at all. What we're not seeing is a secret plot that talking animals are hatching to kill all of humanity, and all they needed to enact it was the DNA of a little brown-haired girl. All the scenes we're seeing, the fever dream or imagination of this dying girl, as she is the first human to fall to the genetic disease the animals are using to take over the world."
I'm sorry, what?
I don't know. I just found this. Or maybe it'll be just about rebuilding the park. So it goes back to the coma theory a little bit.
See, I told you I was right.
So that would be an interesting direction for this to take. I don't think that's where it goes.
Can you imagine that genius marketing that you have a horror animated movie that your first trailer looks like it's really appealing to kids, it's going to be a feel good movie, and then all of a sudden it's just like the most dark movie ever. It's like rated R. That'd be genius, man.
Yeah, it would also be like
highly illegal.
Can we burn $100 million We might as well do that.
Yeah, burn $100 million to play a sick joke on some people.
Well, I mean, you eventually reveal like in the second trailer or whatever, but for the first trailer,
Yeah, I mean that would be an interesting marketing ploy, because I think there's an untapped market of movies that by all accounts maybe look like a kid's film, or movies that look one way but the storyline within is completely different than the visual would lead you to believe.
I don't know why it reminds me, but someone once cut the trailer for The Shining to make it look like a feel-good movie.
Yeah. So
It's hilarious.
with the right kind of editing, you can make anything look like anything. So I don't know if it's a missed opportunity. They didn't go with the animals trying to wipe out humanity with a devastating genetic.
I think it's a pretty big missed opportunity
Yeah.
that just kind of comes out of left field. But, I was looking on the web for Wonder Park stuff, and I saw this review. It's called "Why Didn't No One Mention It Was a Cancer Movie?"
Is it a cancer movie? Does she have cancer?
I don't think it is, but I think the person is like. I think it's the implication that she has cancer.
Oh, okay. So
it's not exact, but I think they were looking into it basically and seeing the cancer illusions.
Yeah, or like it's metaphorically
Cancer.
Okay. They did not use animals destroying the world plot, which I feel like if you have a choice, you always got to go with that one. That should be the only kind of movie that's been made. Animals destroying the world. I just love the idea of these cute creatures plotting the Earth's downfall. I don't know. There's something there, as I've often said. The combination of Disney cuteness with R-rated horror, it's got possibilities.
It does have possibilities.
Because I feel like Five Nights at Freddy's is kind of tapped into that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you just bring that up, didn't you?
It's popular.
Well, now I can put it in the tags, and we'll grab that audience, which we probably don't want them. But I mean, sorry. No
Wait, are there tags?
Yeah, I put tags on the Podbean episodes. I don't know
neat.
if it helps, but
I didn't know.
yes, and we're sorry for insulting the Five Nights at Freddy's audience, just because we don't want that kind of toxicity coming down our head.
We love them.
Yes, like the My Little Pony fans, or the furries, or the
I just
Ruby
want
fans.
to,
Steven Universe
in the
fans.
middle of the night, break into their house, play a little song, and then, jump scare. That's how much I love them.
They might be into that, to be honest.
It could be.
Let's leave, please.
Yeah, okay. So.
All right. Well, we haven't done this one in a while. It's tantalizing tags.
Yes.
And they're user tags, but they are funny. So we have kid-friendly, family movie, imaginative, fun, boring, magical, dark, must-watch, depressing, and funny characters. I just love the dichotomy.
There's a few gnats in that stew there.
Yeah. So that's always fun. And now we can go on to random reviews.
Does every movie have boring in the tags on whatever you're using? Because I feel like that always happens.
A lot of times, yeah. So...
Also, dynamic discussions is over with.
Yeah, well, I introduced tantalizing tags.
Yeah.
So I picked out some reviews, and looking at them, I realized the ones I have as my top ones, they're by the same person.
Oh.
One was on March the 22nd, 2019, and the second one was April the 4th.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so, and I don't know how to say their name. It's from IMDb. It's either Marginal Catching or Margie Not Catching. I don't know. Alright, so the first one is Pixar Good, 10 out of 10. I like every Pixar movie. They are good, and the nation and characters good. Can you see why I picked this one?
It's not a Pixar film.
I don't know. I don't think this is up to Pixar's usual standards. So I would have to give this a con.
Yeah.
Not up to.
This guy is like, kind of like an old mod. Like you guys playing Nintendo and you're like playing a PlayStation.
Yeah.
Called every game console Nintendo.
Yeah.
Every animated film is Pixar.
But I understand this part. And the nation and characters good. The nation.
the nation of Wonder Park.
I guess so.
Although
Free State of Wonder Park.
Although technically the park is called Wonderland within the movie.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why is it... What?
Which I call foul. Like, you can't call... Nothing can be called Wonderland anymore. The most famous fantasy story ever written used that name. Alice in Wonderland. You can't use that for...
You can't just do that. You can't call your movie Wonder Park, and in the movie itself, it's called Wonderland.
Well, a little bit of a fact here. It was originally called Amusement Park, and then they changed it to Wonder Park after I meant to talk about this, but the movie didn't technically. We'll do a little facts and folly section because they had like one.
Yeah, we'll have it after.
Technically, the movie did not have a director.
Oh.
At least half of it they did. He got kicked out because he did some no-no things behind the scenes,
Well,
touching people who didn't want to be touched, I guess, or just being generally abusive. So the movie did not have a director for most of it, and after that happened, they changed the name from Amusement Park to Wonder Park. But Amusement Park, that would make more sense thematically, I guess.
Back to random reviews. This is by the same person, so margin on catching. 10 out of 10, funny. The part where the bear laughs to Ginny because the farts he makes in the period Ivy.
Is that a
TIDB.
to be determined? TBID?
To be
TBD
indiscriminately
is
destroyed.
TIDB.
Oh, TIDB. I don't
Ginny because the farts he makes in the Ivy.
Wait,
So,
who's Ginny?
I don't know. There's no Ginny. Her name is June, not Ginny.
well, maybe there's another character named Ginny and the farts,
That's another thing. There were kids I'm gonna call it Wonder Park. There were kids at Wonder Park.
Yeah.
So were they also fake?
Were they imaginary kids? I don't know.
I remember seeing a bunch of tourists there. Are they all fake?
That's what I'm saying. This is the whole can of worms. I just wanted to bring that up.
We exist solely to consume.
So was there? I don't know what to take from that other than there's fart jokes, but
The bear laughs.
the bear laughs. The bear also just spontaneously passes out.
Do we want to add a pro or a con or something about the
I can't
bear
help-
just passing
Bear's
out?
narcolepsy.
Yes.
I see people laugh. I can't help but laugh too.
Pro. It was
Have we had much narcoleptic representation in movies?
Not
not
since Snow
too
White.
much. Yeah, that's true. There's a little. I can't put my finger on it, but I could have sworn there has been other narcoleptic characters. But
So I think we can do that as a pro.
for
That the narcoleptic, they're a little bit unrepresented in movies.
The narcoleptic community.
narcoleptic. And I also get kind of a minor pro. I won't write it down, but just editing has not shocked me so badly for a long time. It was I feel like I've been punched.
Just like the bear.
Yes,
probably
that's
felt.
what it looked like.
All right, then it's the Bohemian Arrow. 1 out of 10, doom and gloom. I read other reviews and hesitated on whether or not to take the kids, boys 9 and 5. I wish I wouldn't have wasted $42 on sad and boring.
Oh,
But-
it was $42 for 3 people. Man, I guess tickets have gotten that bad.
Well, I mean, it says Bohemian Arrow. He's from Czech Republic and all that,
My kids went from sad to bored and back to sad before ending with bored. I was crawling out of my seat waiting for it to just end. It was very heavy.
The Bohemian Pirates.
Sorry, it was very heavy emotional content for kids, and the rest of the boring movie didn't make up for the fact are awful, don't go, don't even rent.
That's the rule. If someone says me instead of my, then you automatically become pirate. That's the rules.
So the pirates didn't really like it.
Or their children.
So also a con. It's a roller coaster. No pun intended. Of boredom and sadness.
Boredom and sadness. Also, I just love that phrasing. I was crawling out of my seat.
I was crawling out of my seat because all the rum might be drinking.
Can you just imagine just a person? It's kind of like the Exorcist.
I'd like to thank our little Czech pirate here for his wonderful review.
Yes, so spider pirates don't like it.
Spider pirate.
That's a movie.
If Batman was a pirate, why can't Spider-Man be one?
So I'm gonna go ahead and do this one because I was not sure whether to pick it or not.
Mm-hmm.
It was very funny, but
Oh, that's the one you warned me about.
yeah,
It
We
might
might-
not exist, people.
we might be able to keep it. I'm gonna do it in the middle so it's cut easily, but it's slightly offensive.
Okay, so full warning. When you're listening to this, it may just cut suddenly, and if we just suddenly go on to something else, you'll know why.
All right, so we have Doris.
Yeah.
On the picture, it says "and R." I don't know what that means. And then AR. I thought it was and AR. Surprise, it wasn't. Disappointed. So now I got to write a review about this. ... You just wasted my time. My dogs need food. My boo, aka bro, needs food. It gets too hungry, and I could have fed him. It's that time of month again. He looking a little chunky. I'm gonna have to cut him down. Also, I dropped my phone in the doo-doo chamber. There was some doo-doo in there, and not the good kind. Also, Wonder Park seemed gay, but no offense. So that's the part I'm worried about.
It's fine. It's his words. It's not our words.
So that was Doris. It's probably one of the greatest reviews I've ever seen.
He said no offense, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
What's this about getting dogs? What?
So is his dog his boo, or does he have to feed his friend or her? It's Doris. Feed her dog
I don't
and
know.
her friend, or is she saying that her dog is her boo? What I don't like. Your dog's gonna be fine for like the hour and 30 minutes this movie lasts. It's not gonna starve.
He looked a little chunky.
What is that about?
I just cut him down.
That's what I want to know. What the
I still don't know what and AR is.
I don't know.
Arr, maybe he's a pirate again. And arr. Maybe the pirate's really coming out
Is
for
it
Wonder
and
Park.
AR? Augmented reality? AR is augmented reality.
Hang on.
Oh, is he saying that? Did they think it was you could watch it on your? That doesn't make any sense because you're not going to let you bring your Oculus Rift into the theater.
That's just way more questions.
And on a picture it says, and
Did he think the imaginary creatures were augmented reality inside the movie
no,
itself?
what the crap?
It's probably not augmented reality, but okay. So she's mad that it took away time from being able to feed her dog.
Yes.
But she then says she's going to cut down the dog's feeding a little bit. Assuming she's still talking about her dog. And
So let's say it's the dog, her boo, or bro.
yeah, that's why I can't figure out if there's two people she has to...
I think there's two people she has to
two
feed.
entities. There's the dog and her friend.
Friend or brother or
Boyfriend?
boyfriend.
Boo is typically boyfriend or
yeah, but she
girlfriend.
says bro.
Yeah.
Unless she meant bro friend? I don't know.
Unless it's her brother and she calls him... Which, don't do that. Don't call your brother boo.
Yeah. Well, he's looking a little chunky.
I don't like this
I
person.
don't like that. It's not just... I know
I want her in the box of shame for this.
Yes, we're putting
Yeah,
Doris
well,
in
we
the box
have
of
to.
shame.
It's Doris, so Doris should go in the box of shame. You're a weirdo.
Please don't write any more reviews.
I thought that the AI person was the most disturbing. Just he looked a little chunky. For some reason, that phrase, I don't know. It makes my skin crawl. I don't know why.
Cut him down.
Did her phone fell in the toilet?
Yes, she talked about the fact that.
Why do we need to know that? What does that have to do with the movie?
I know. I don't know what these people are doing.
I dropped my phone in the doo-doo chamber.
Yes.
I gotta go to the doo-doo chamber, guys.
It's a new term for bathroom.
The doo-doo chamber.
Okay. Well.
Oh my goodness.
Not a review, but we appreciate.
Oh, I feel like
I don't
I've
know
been
if we
violated.
appreciate
Okay, no, we
anything.
don't appreciate the contribution. We're happy for the content, I guess, for the podcast, but at what cost? At what cost?
I don't know. I really don't.
I just think of like this disturbing overweight woman just looking at me and go, fell into the doo-doo chamber, looking a little chunky. Just like, oh, please,
All right,
away.
well, I guess let's move on and try to.
There's
Try to forget.
Kevin Moore. We're getting back to a positive light.
Okay, good.
10 out of 10 changed my life. I've seen people say this month movie sucks. It breaks my heart, as in H-A-R-T, so Kevin Hart, unfortunately. But there are many great things about this movie. So much.
People know the word "are" in these reviews.
And
I
sure
noticed.
they are. Is some cringe here and they are. But it's a kids movie. What do you expect?
I hate that defense.
Yeah, the kids movie defense is not a good defense. I mean, it can cover up a multitude of sins, but it only goes so far.
So they don't know how to spell there at all. It's T-H-A-Y-E-R.
Oh, okay. Well, they don't. The three theirs and in your and you are, those people cannot learn those.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoever it was not even batting in the same ballpark.
No, I know. I'm just saying in general. I think that's where the problem started. Then A showed up out of nowhere and crashed the party. So, but anyway,
They
so
are.
basically,
Again, I think it's the pirates. I think the pirates have really come out for this movie.
so welcome to the Pirate Podcast.
Then we have Space Gaming. They give it a thumbs down. Ugly Dolls was better. The
Oh, wow.
Emoji Movie was better.
Oh,
Even Dark Phoenix was better.
Well, of course, the Emoji Movie was better.
Yeah.
It's like one of the best movies ever made.
First of all, this movie follows every rule of anime. First of all, this movie follows
Little burp attack.
every rule of animated movies. There must be a human or a monster that is the main character. Check. Wait, what?
I mean, that you could argue that's most of media.
yeah. What?
There's a movie. There's a human is the main character. Well, Khan.
Human is the main character. Or a monster. It would have been bad if she was a monster as well. So
It
there's
would be
no
more
winning.
interesting, honestly.
Magic is involved. Check. The villain has an overused plan. Check. Wait, there's a villain?
Oh yeah, I forgot to bring up. It's not really a singular villain. It's those stuffed animals.
Really?
Because they're being, they've been twisted by. There's a darkness looming over the park, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
metaphorical for her depression.
Oh, I was making a joke.
No,
about,
that's
about
real.
the dark cloud over. I
Yeah,
was making a joke.
No,
Wow.
you stumbled onto it, but for some reason that's made the merchandise. Well, maybe this is an anti-capitalist movie. Maybe it's not actually. You know, maybe they're trying to have their cake and eat it too.
How's your park going to stay open without the merchandise? I'm sorry. It's kind of a necessary component.
Are we saying sick moms are the answer to capitalism?
Yes.
Let's destroy capitalism
Yes.
with sick moms?
Sick moms will destroy capitalism.
Hold up your sick and dying mom at the corporations and watch them shrivel.
This movie's trying to have its cake and eat it too. It's trying to market to the imaginary people or propose that concept, but at the same time, it is also depicting the destruction of capitalism by the use of sick mom-powered zombie chimpanzee stuffed animals.
Wow.
So,
That's
if you
amazing.
if you're into socialism, I guess this is
Wait.
kind of the movie for you. I
Wait,
don't.
hang on, I just realized something. That the monkey kind of god of the park who can create matter out of nothing.
Yeah,
He's kind of a little egotist since all the stuffed animals are also other monkeys.
but remember, he didn't have a say in that. He takes the commands and breathes them into action.
So like a bit of favoritism in there. The mom
Yeah.
really liked monkeys.
Yeah.
See, I think he should have been the villain.
yeah,
Think
but
about it. He tries to wrestle full control over the park, like the creative aspect.
But-
He is
wait,
just a doer.
But then it would just be like the 4 wins all over again.
But
Yeah.
I want a power struggle between
Yeah.
this little girl and the magical monkey.
And
Well,
no,
see-
we just reviewed that movie. It was
And-
it was the Nutcracker movie.
Well, what it could be is a corporate takeover.
yeah, you tie it with my idea of the character running a business in a fantasy world, and it turned into kind of like that TV show Billions, where it's people vying for supremacy over a company or something.
Yeah.
And now I explain, well, they're all kind of like, all the evil zombies are monkey doll, because he's trying to make his own things, they
Yeah.
don't come out right. They come
Or
out
he's
as-
using them as his army. Either
I like this thing of the fact that because he can't really create things of his own, they come out wrong and
Yeah.
psychotic.
Well,
No, I mean, that
he's
would work,
trying
too.
to plummet the stock of the company. That way you can easily buy it all up,
Yeah.
obviously.
but spoiler alert. I mean, skip ahead if you don't want spoilers. But technically, the little girl is the villain of the movie by accident because
Oh.
it's her sadness that is destroying the park.
I see.
So basically, the message is: don't be sad because you'll inconvenience people.
I'll be
I think I read
smile
that
all the
somewhere,
time.
But and I think her friends turned on her, all the magical mascots. They're like,
Oh, really?
You're killing our world with your sadness. We'll make it better by rejecting you. But I mean, it's that third act.
And then she gets put in a coma.
That third act turn where your friends are angry with you and you have to reconnect at the end.
The
Yeah.
liar revealed.
Yeah.
So we've
Don't you
kind
know?
of gone off on a tirade in the middle of this guy's review, which
Sorry.
is very important. The next point is most characters are not human. Check and double check. So he's just not happy. If you have humans, if you have monsters, if you have too many non-humans, it's just.
So he wants a movie that doesn't star a monster or a human, but the rest. See, well, they just need to flip it.
Wait, I just had a funny idea. What if the movie isn't her Well, it is kind of her imagination, but all the people are real. They're just hobos in like discarded outfits.
Yeah.
That would satisfy them because then they'd be like humans in Monster Cut, and they're like, "Hey kid, imagination, gotta get high,"
Yeah, I mean,
Also,
A bunch of bums hanging out at a music park, and they're
I
wearing
have
the mascot outfits.
thought that if she's rejected by the things that she created, does that mean her imagination rejected her?
yes.
Wow.
She
Does that mean she had to imagine that, or did it just happen?
Well, she's imagined free will. It's kind of the whole.
Oh, I
she
see.
is God. She gave her creations free will, and they've decided to reject her. Now she must reach out and then rebuild the bridge that was, burned down between them.
I understand. And,
So
Whoa.
it's got anti-capitalism, it's got pro-capitalism, anti-capitalism, and very intense religious themes, very prominent religious themes.
we always find these themes, so maybe we should write down some pros or
some
cons.
pros. So we're not going to pro to anti-capitalism because it's a capitalism podcast.
Oh, are we? I didn't know.
I just know I want money.
I support the single market ethno state.
There we go.
So I think it's a pro that it kind of delves into like the free will question, because that's
Yeah.
always an interesting question.
Yeah.
It's I can't remember what we talked about with the capitalism thing. Was it for or against?
Well,
or...
I don't know. It's just one interpretation because the merchandise is also attacking the park. Or maybe it's more about just bad management because, like, if you
could be.
diversify too much, your products will end up attacking you, destroying. So maybe it's still just a pure capitalism movie.
They end up competing with each other.
Yeah, so it's warning about
And-
diversifying too far.
And that's
or-
what's killing Disney because
Yeah.
all their movies are now competing with each other. You know, they're losing money.
Yeah. What is Wonder Parks? Is that Disney?
I don't
no,
know. What,
it's like Nickelodeon.
Oh yeah,
Paramount.
Nickelodeon. Okay, well
Oh.
still, the lesson can be
what
learned.
happened to Nickelodeon? They made Rainbow.
No, wait, I thought it was Pixar.
Yeah, no, oh that's
Oh,
right,
yeah.
it's a Pixar,
It's a
so it is
Pixar
Disney.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Nickelodeon made this?
So I guess you could say it
Yes.
teaches good business tactics, and I guess you could interpret it as anti-capitalism if you want. There's like
Yeah.
all art has multiple interpretations.
So of course,
So-
I can't remember if I talked about his last point that unfunny jokes are in the movie.
Mhm.
Did I say that?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, unfunny jokes are in the movie. That's his last
Well,
point.
humor's subjective.
And then he says, from the trailer, it looked promising at first. But more trailers came out, and I started to be even more disgusted at how generic it became. 2.1 out of 10.
It's not quite bad enough to be a 2.
No, 2.1.
I mean, to be fair, the jokes seem kind of lame in the trailer, but it's cut to pieces. The trailer is edited weirdly, so who knows?
Yeah, like what the chuck's going on?
Yeah.
So I found our brother in the field. It's Joshua. He gives it a thumbs up. He says, must see. Better than Endgame, I must say. JK lol, in parentheses. I love the movie despite not watching it yet. I like its storyline, but I don't know what it is. Wonder Park is a mustn't see? It's M-U-S-T, and then...
I think
and then
that's. Oh wait,
NT.
that's a meme. You put you take must and then you like apostrophe like a T or N or
Oh,
NT,
yeah.
so
and,
it's
and
not-
it makes it a negative. So when you see mustn't, it means don't see.
Oh,
Yes,
I
but there's
see.
also mustn't.
Mustn't.
Is also already a word, I think.
Well, but he's using the meme version. On
Okay,
it,
must not see movie. So go down to your local cinema. We'll see if Sonic the movie is going to be better. But this is by not very far the best movie ever.
So, look,
It's
we're
already-
already having a hard enough time reaching an audience without competition from people out there on the internet. Shut it down!
He speaks in doublespeak.
Either that one of us wrote that, but I don't think so.
That's all the random reviews I had. It was a bit of a cluster this time, but
Yeah.
there was some good stuff.
I think we're basically done because, I don't know if I already mentioned it, but there wasn't enough for facts and follies.
Well, weren't you going to go into it a little bit, or did you already
Yeah,
do
there
it?
was just one more thing I was
I
going to
don't
bring
think
up.
there's any facts and flaws. I don't think anyone cared about this movie.
Yeah, well, there was a bunch of facts. They were just all kind of generic. The only one that I thought was worth mentioning was, as I said, there was no director,
Right.
at least towards the end of the production of the film. But the film has no credited director. The Directors Guild almost always refuses to allow a film to be released without a credited director due to various legalities and contractual obligations. How the makers of the film were allowed to release a film without crediting a director remains unclear. So they don't. This is kind of historical because normally, I don't know if you've heard of Alan Smithee.
No.
It's
I
the
have.
moniker. I can't think I say the word right.
Moniker.
we live in a monarcher.
It's the fake name, we'll say,
Yes.
that directors use usually when they're disappointed in the film and they don't want their name on it. But they didn't even use that. There's just literally no director's name.
Wow.
Which is interesting.
That is
So
interesting.
I don't know what. I guess the movie was so uninteresting that nobody cared.
So pro, they managed to get through it without a
Yeah.
director.
They broke new ground.
Yeah, I guess that's a pro. It's historical.
It's historical, yeah.
were the Directors Guild just sleeping, or
The Directors Guild's like, it's Wonder Park. Who cares? Just let go.
don't
not
hold
worth
it back anymore?
Yeah. Peter Rabbit, you don't have to go after him. You're good.
So the Directors Guild has Peter Rabbit?
I don't know. I figured that he does like mercenary, freelance
Oh, yeah, a
mercenary
lot of
work.
times.
He's a contractor.
So-
he's a corporate samurai.
Yeah.
We obviously have to go through the pros and cons, but at a base, do we think this movie slapped or not? Or I guess we could do that after the cons, or pros and cons.
I don't know. I mean,
I say it's generic. There's too many humans and monsters, and I'm disgusted.
The
yeah,
fact that
I should
there's
add that con. There's
Yes, too many non-humans.
Yeah.
As
side characters.
side
See, I was going to
Humanity
say,
must
the
be
problem with
pure.
this film was they should have made an animal the main character and made humans the side characters, and this guy would have loved it.
Yeah.
'Cause that was his problem. The main character was either a human or a monster, typically. And this time it's a human, so he was upset. Then later, he's like, the side characters are all animals. So this movie, it just reversed it. This guy would have loved it. Maybe that was the problem with the movie all along.
But did he mean that the animals were monsters?
No, because the main character can't be a human or a
Oh, I
monster.
see. So
But
it's gotta be
the
an animal.
side characters can't
Could it
be
be a
animals.
robot? I guess it could be.
Yeah, because anything outside that, the side characters could be robots technically,
Right.
as long as they're not animals.
Maybe the
but
girls-
the animal can be the main thing.
The girl's a robot built by her mother.
Yes, yeah. Okay, well, I guess we need to compile. We need to go through the pros and cons and then give our score.
Yes.
Okay, well, I need to mute this because we're gonna have like pop-ups from my Slack.
I'm really interested because I forgot what we put.
Yes, the cons have bled all over my notebook because they got out of control. Okay, but as usual, we start with the cons. The trailer is misleading, which I don't know why we penalize movies for this, but hey, we are cruel and capricious gods.
Well, the trailer's the only thing we have to go on. So.
Yes.
Well, besides the like the reviews and stuff, but you know.
So that's our movie.
Yes.
That's as much as we usually see. And then the park, it has a bit of an organizational problem. There's the line of command, the chain of command, is a little bit too lengthy. I feel like just empower the monkey. You know, give him some room to work, and I'm sure he would do a fine job.
Don't
Just give us a little-
micromanage him.
Yeah.
Right? They don't leaning over his shoulder and breathing on him. You know, it's weird.
Yeah, and I think that kind of goes into like their problem with their merchant. They have a serious merchandising problem too.
Yeah, it's trying to
Yeah.
kill them.
So then the third con is we don't know if the park is real, which is a minor con, maybe explained. It's just a little confusing when discussing. We're mainly penalizing it because it made it confusing to discuss. So,
Yes.
yeah.
It inconvenienced us, so therefore it is bad.
Yes. They didn't end up using the animals they're trying to take over, or not take over, destroy humanity.
It's a real
plot
shame.
line. Yeah, it's always a missed opportunity. It's not up to Pixar's typical standard.
Oh,
I feel
I
like
know.
it's kind of in the Good Dinosaur territory.
Really disappointed in that.
Yeah, Pixar dropped the ball.
How dare you?
They use the name Wonderland, and there's a two-part kind of con. For me personally, I love this film. No, they use Wonderland, which only Alice in Wonderland has the right to use that, unless you're using that name as an allusion to Wonderland. You know, like in Dead Man Wonderland, it's an allusion to it. But as a rule, you should not use that name because it's already so famous. And in the second part of that con is the movie's called Wonder Park, so it makes it really confusing to discuss the film again. But I feel like there's a little bit more legitimacy to that problem. And then I added this. We were kind of talking about it, but I kind of added this con surreptitiously. But this isn't a business thriller, a fantasy business thriller, which.
Yeah.
And that would have been really original and unique and interesting, but they went with the typical, oh, my mom is dying, so my childhood's also dying. Boo-hoo. Such an old-tired storyline.
I know.
Listen, your childhood can die just fine with
Yes.
both parents alive.
Yes. Trust me, I know. No.
I always think that my imagination has survived this long,
Yes.
surprisingly.
Yes. So I actually had to do like cons part 2 on the other page. The movie is a roller coaster of boredom and sadness. Spider pirates don't like it. As a human is a main character, and
dare
the
it.
side characters are animals. You know, it's the most grievous animated movie sins.
Yes.
Then in the pros, the mom lived, which is good.
Yeah,
That's good. We're pro. We're pro.
You know
parents
You know
living.
it's
Yeah.
not a Disney movie if the parent gets out okay.
Which is weird because it is a Pixar film.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, It's not really.
No, that guy said
No, it's a Pixar film.
Stop
we
trying to
have-
gaslight me.
We have it from a very good source.
Yes, guy whose name I forgot.
What's this, East Germany?
Marjo Catching.
Over
I don't
here,
know.
you freaking East Germans.
Mr.
Wait, trying to
Ketch-
gaslight me?
Mr. Catching, he had some interesting thoughts. Mainly someone farts. I don't
Yeah.
know. The bear laughs.
The bear laughs.
As long as the bear is happy, everything's okay.
Which, speaking of which, I'll jump ahead a little because it ties in. We finally got narcoleptic representation in the movie. Like very severe narcolepsy. It happens so fast. It's disturbing.
I
The first
think the
time you see
reason
it.
why we don't see too many of the narcoleptic people in the community speak out is that they're always asleep.
Yes, they can't.
They can't really immobilize or anything.
And then roller coaster enthusiasts will be pleased, as we saw that guy got inspiration to write an article that was tangential to the film itself. It's his specialty. Then, let's see. Oh yes, the movie proposes the free will question. You know,
Of course it does.
because her creation she made have decided to reject her. you
Yeah.
know.
We're 100% certain that happens in the movie.
Yes.
Exactly.
I mean, the rejection.
Because we
I think,
still
does
don't know
happen, but-
whether it's all real or
Or-
semi-real
or in her
or
head,
you know.
if they're all crazy hobos.
Well,
and
I
she
mean,
was
the world's a virtual reality simulation anyway,
Yes.
so what does it really matter?
Okay, Jaden Smith.
How can it be real if our eyes aren't real?
Yeah. The movie teaches good business practices, kind of a negative example with the whole problems with the diversification of their
well,
merchandising.
they have some good business.
some good,
practice,
yeah, some positive,
bad.
some negative. So it's kind of, it runs the gamut.
Not only that, they got like zero expenses in construction. I
But
mean,
that's true, yeah. They already have they've already cut down their overhead.
They are appealing to a very, very, very broad market.
Yeah.
The imaginary people.
Yes. Not a very lucrative market, but a very broad one. And then finally, they managed to get their movie made, and they didn't have to put a director in the credits, which you normally have to do, which is kind of a historical.
Which I
thing.
wonder if actually not having a director is a bit of a con ultimately.
Yeah.
because
Well, it hurt the film.
Yeah,
Because there was no guiding voice.
but you know,
I think the pro is that this guiding voice was removed.
Yes.
So they couldn't harm
well,
anyone
that-
else.
Yeah.
That's part of the pro, and the other part of the pro is just that it's kind of interesting and historic.
Yeah.
Uh,
Kind of a little,
Of course,
little
it
trivia.
does definitely show that doesn't have a director.
Yes, yes. And then we had one pro con. The business concept it proposes, marketing to imaginary things, is both novel and interesting, but also maybe very pointless, almost definitely pointless in the long run. So, a bit of a pro con there.
and I think one final thing is that it really drove the pirates out of the water. You know,
Yes.
come on land and leave their reviews.
They were getting drunk in there. They had to cry out of their chairs and stuff. But yeah, they were there.
Okay, so with all that in mind, we have to somehow review this. There's no number, so we can't just fall back on that.
Yes, we can't do it.
47! No.
Billy says 47.
No, I don't.
Let's see. Let me just process all this information.
Yeah. You know, I think I'm going to give it a...
68.
Okay.
The number came to my head.
68. Why 68, Luke?
I was closing my eyes and all these numbers rushed past me, and 68 to stop.
You're gonna
right
have
there.
to justify it, Luke. I'm not letting you off the hook.
He's short-circuiting.
It's
What are the good elements of this movie, Luke? If you're gonna
Yeah.
give it a 68,
fart jokes and the bear laughs.
good enough.
Luke appreciates the narcolepsy representation.
Yes.
Reminds me of Dad.
So I think I'm going to give it a solid 35. And my reasoning is, I think as a movie, it's got all these problems here. Like, first of all, the main character is a human. Get out of here. But I think as kind of a business supplement, as a bit of literature or media to teach maybe kids and people that are interested in business the ropes, I feel like it's a good place to start because it's got interesting visuals and stuff like that. So I would say as a business seminar, not bad. So I'll give it a solid 35. It's a low score, but you know.
You know what?
Solid.
Actually, I was messing around with the 68. I'm thinking more of a 43 because it's such a boilerplate family movie. You know, it's just like copy paste. But I gotta give it credit. It had guts to actually finish the film without a director.
Yeah.
I like what the movie was doing. I like the imaginary.
What was it doing?
I like the
Okay,
imaginary.
justify it,
film.
Jake. You made me justify. You do it.
And you know, it's got interesting elements. I like the free will aspect of it. I think it could have gone more business side, a little bit more heavy business focused. The fact that the mom does live, I think I will give it the highest score of, I feel like a 52 is just right. You know, because I would say my score is looking a little chunky.
No!
You have to cut it down a little bit.
I hate that. Oh my goodness. Knowing that person is alive and exists out in the world fills me with terror.
Yeah, it's another person I do not want to meet.
It also fills me with a tiny bit of hope.
For what?
I don't know. Okay, so 43.3 repeating.
And I totally forgot, so you can call my review into question, but I forgot about it until now. The critics gave it a 34, and the audiences gave it a 41.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, because
I saw the 34. I don't know if it was subliminal, but I forgot I got that.
Well, you gave it a 35, so it's different.
Because that was an honest review, because I forgot it was 34.
I got two higher than the audience, you know?
Yeah.
Well, surprisingly, the
critics or
the audience one.
The audience one. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I missed the part.
43.3 repeating.
Yeah, 43.3 repeating.
Repeating the decimals back. Yay!
Yay, repeating.
Put him in with Doris. He won't last long.
He's our imaginary friend for the podcast. We don't know if he's real or not.
But we're gonna market to him. So episode MVPs are the audience.
Yes. Do we have any other MVPs?
No one really stuck
I don't know.
out.
I guess
maybe the Czech pirate, the Bohemian guy.
I don't know, or that guy who was kind of, I don't know, he was stealing our shtick, which I don't appreciate, but I also kind of
respect him for
I like the
Joshua?
fact that his entire, all his sentences were doublespeak, which was pretty clever, I think.
So we'll throw Joshua a mild MVP, but of course Doris is in the box of shame. She's an episode degenerate.
She's going to be stuck into the ground, never to be released. We'll take care of her dog, but she's not allowed to come out ever
maybe
again.
her boyfriend, brother,
whatever
friend.
the second person is, we'll also take care of him. But Doris, you're banned from Earth.
Well, don't drop your phones in doo-doo chambers.
No. Which we must all call toilets that from now on. Doo-doo chambers.
So, I guess this movie didn't slap or
no, I think all around...
I mean, it wasn't even slapping lemons or limes.
No, it wasn't, it wasn't slapping limes either.
Maybe it was like punching pineapples. That hurts.
I say it deserves to visit the doo-doo chamber.
Drop it in there.
I guess add that one to it, to our list of random reviewer appraisals.
What the chuck? That's so vulgar.
Yeah, we'll start using. It kills me when they use really
adult euphemisms for children.
Yeah. That one's really close too. Okay, so this is the end of the podcast now, I believe.
Yes.
We've gone through everything. Thank you for listening. And I just realized I don't need to give all the information from now on. I think I'm just going to put it in the description. That way you can see at all times. Just scroll down.
You can follow us at Billy's Twitter.
What do you think about that? That way I don't have to say this every time at the end. If you're new or whatever.
We're not going to hold your hand.
No, I just thought, well, just cut it. We can really shorten the ending by just saying, scroll down the description. You can find
our contact
info and our Patreon. And just want to, at the end, we can just give a plea. Share this with a friend or your group of friends. And
your boo.
Yeah, your boo.
Your dog.
Your dog. And definitely give to the Patreon if you can. We really appreciate it. It would help us do this more often. And give me inspiration to edit.
Yes.
So any help you can give us, we're a very small independent podcast, so all the help we can get, much appreciated. So.
I also need money for my depression, so please donate to Patreon.
Yes, we have
use that.
we have a we have a sick mother who has vanished suddenly, and we're hoping she'll come back at the end of the film. But we need all your support and monetary assistance to get her back.
You gotta lie to the audience. I won't stand for this farce.
All right, I've been your host, Billy Greer.
And we've been your co-hosts, Luke Greer and Jake doing the shimmy over there.
Jake Greer.
Jake left. Okay, be back. Hooray!
All right.
That was a quick breakup. Bye.